I never planned to tell this story publicly. For years, I avoided even saying the name out loud. Silver Lake. If you look it up now, you won't find much. Small body of water in a quiet American town. No headlines anymore. No anniversaries. No documentaries. Just a fenced shoreline and a sign that says closed for environmental recovery. That's the official reason. It wasn't environmental. I was 16 the summer it happened. There were 12 of us on that camping trip, 12 juniors from the same high school. It was supposed to be an overnight ecology project, water sampling, wildlife observation, constellations after dark, harmless. I remember the bus ride there, loud music, people arguing over snacks, someone joking about horror movies and cursed lakes. We laughed. Small towns create their own myths out of boredom. Silver Lake didn't look cursed. It looked peaceful. The surface was unnaturally smooth, like polished glass. No boats allowed, no swimming after sunset. Those rules had existed for as long as anyone remembered, but no one knew who originally made them. The surface. The teachers set up their small cabin. Uphill from the shore, we pitched our tents near the southern tree line. The air smelled like pine and warm dirt. Around 10 p.m., we sat by a controlled fire pit, telling stories. One of the girls, Narissa, asked something weird. Have you ever noticed the lake doesn't have birds? We all looked up. She was right. No ducks, no geese, no insects hovering above the surface. Just stillness. We shrugged it off. By midnight, most of us were into our tents. I remember checking my phone. No signal. I figured it was just bad reception. Then the dock lights flickered once, twice, and went out. I told myself it was a power issue. At 1:17 a.m., I woke up, not because of noise, because of silence. And I don't mean quiet. I mean the kind of silence that feels intentional. The wind was gone, the trees were frozen, even the distant hum of the highway, gone. I sat up in my sleeping bag. That's when I heard it. 3 soft knocks on the outside of my tent, not aggressive, not frantic, just deliberate. Tap, tap, tap. I whispered, Jake? No response. I unzipped the tent slowly. The air outside felt thick, heavy, and cold. All the others' tents were open, empty. That's when I saw them, standing at the edge of the dock, all 11 of them facing the lake, perfectly still, and the water was darker than sky. I didn't call out to them immediately. At first, I thought it was some kind of prank. Maybe they were trying to scare me. Maybe this was payback for joking earlier about cursed lakes and horror cliché. But something was wrong. They weren't whispering. They weren't moving. They weren't even shifting their weight the way people naturally do when standing still. They were completely motionless. I stepped closer to the dock. The gravel under my shoes sounded too loud, like it didn't belong in the night. None of them reacted. Jake, I said again, louder this time. Nothing. The moonlight was faint, but enough for me to see their faces. Their eyes were open, wide, not blinking, but they weren't staring at the surface of the lake. They were looking slightly downward, as if something beneath the water had their attention. That's when I noticed the surface wasn't flat anymore. It wasn't rippling either. It was breathing, slow, expanding outward in a perfect circle from the center of the lake, then tightening again, like a pulse. Not splashing, no wind, no sound, just a silent, rhythmic distortion. My chest tightened. I stepped onto the dock. The wood felt damp under my feet, even though it hadn't rained in days. Guys, this isn't funny, I said. Marisa tilted her head slightly, not toward me, toward the water, and then I heard it, not with my ears, inside my head, a low hum, like distant machinery underwater, or a voice trying to form words without language. The pulse in the water grew wider, closer to the dock. The boards beneath us creaked softly, not from movement, but from pressure below. And then, without any speaking, all 11 of them took synchronized step forward. I lunged and grabbed Jake's arm. His skin was freezing, not cool from night air, freezing, like he had been standing in snow. Jake, stop. He didn't resist. He didn't acknowledge me. He simply kept walking, and I couldn't hold him. One by one, they stepped off the dock. There was no splash. That's the part I replay the most. No splash. Their bodies entered the lake like the surface wasn't water at all, like it had opened or accepted them. The hum inside my head intensified. For a second, just 1 second, I saw something beneath the surface, a shape, massive, circular, turning slowly in the dark, not rising, just waiting. The water swallowed the last of them, and the dock was empty. The pulse stopped. The surface flattened. The stars reflected perfectly again. The hum vanished. The night sounds returned all at once. Crickets, wind, distant traffic, like someone had flipped the switch back on, and I was standing alone at the edge of the lake. I don't remember stepping backward. I don't remember leaving the dock. The next thing I recall clearly is waking up at sunrise on the shoreline, my clothes soaked, my shoes filled with lake water, and 11 empty tents behind me. They questioned me for 9 hours, first the teachers, then the sheriff, the men I had never seen before, men who didn't introduce themselves. They asked the same questions in different ways. Did anyone argue? Were drugs involved? Did you leave the campsite? Did you enter the water? The last one kept coming back. Did you enter the water? I told them no. At least I thought I hadn't. Search teams dragged Silver Lake for 2 weeks. Drivers and divers scanned the bottom. Thermal drones flew overhead. Boats moved in perfect grids. They found nothing. No bodies, no fabric, no footprints beyond the dock. Officially, the case became a mass disappearance under unknown circumstances. Unofficially, the town blamed me, because I was the only one who came back. Parents won't look at me in grocery stores. My own friends' families moved away within months. Silver Lake was fenced off by autumn. But there's the part I've never said publicly. 3 nights after the incident, I woke up in my bedroom at 1:17 a.m. At the same time, my window was open. I never sleep with it open. My shoes were on the floor, soaked, wet lake water pooling beneath them. I touched them. They were cold, freezing cold, and there was something inside them. Sand, dark gray sand, not the lights brown sand from Silver Lake's shore. This was finer, almost metallic. The next morning I went back to the lake. Police tape still hung along the fence. No one was guarding it anymore. I stood at the shoreline and stared at the surface, still, perfectly calm. And then I noticed something that no one else had mentioned. There weren't 12 missing person posters around town. There were 11. My photo had been printed too for 24 hours until I was found. Because for those first hours after sunshine, no one could find me. The teachers had counted 11 missing, not 10. 11, meaning for some period of time I was gone too. I don't remember entering the lake, but sometimes memory isn't absence, sometimes it's removal. Every year on the anniversary, I wake up at 1:17 a.m. No alarm, no sound, just that same heavy silence. And for exactly 8 seconds, I can't hear anything. Not my breathing, not the house, not the wall, just that low, distant hum, like something deep underwater turning slowly, waiting. I've never gone back to Silver Lake after that morning, but people in town say the surface still goes perfectly flat once a year. No wind, no insects, no birds, and if you stand close enough to the dock, you might hear 3 soft knocks behind you.